Hello, people. Um, this is going to be a very short video. I titled it Explanations and Information because um, I feel like even if it's not, I don't know if it's necessary, but it may be helpful, right? So, in my real life, a lot of stuff went haywire, and I had been taking a break from YouTube in a sense of I hadn't been getting on any panels, I hadn't been uploading any content, doing any live streams, anything like that. Um, I have still been supportive, like clicking likes and commenting, but not as much in the chats. And I do I tell my story, and a lot of stuff happened in my life, and I still have some triggers some of them I'm probably never going to be over. Anyway, the point is, so my picture was used in like a video about, um, you know, hating on other content creators or something like that. I can't remember the title. And it was a picture of me from a live stream that I did with another YouTuber, and it wasn't a huge big deal, but I do need to go on record as saying is I never hated anybody from that specific sector. I've never hated on anybody from that specific sector. So, you know, I'm guessing I have no idea why it was used. I didn't have, like that person didn't get my permission. I don't even know this person, haven't been in any of their chats or anything like that. I don't even know if they watch my content. So I'm not overly worried about it. I'm just saying that is not something that I would have did or like contributed to. Second, my name came up in one of the beefs and everything that really caught me by surprise. Like this beef, I had no idea. I would have, never saw that coming just because I feel like things can be worked out if both people want to. So, what I am going to say is nobody called me trying to pump me for any information. Everything that I said had been said also on a public live stream. I don't have any additional information. And I'm not using names because I didn't get permission to use anybody's names. They didn't get my permission either, but two wrongs don't make a right, right? Anyway, and I'm not upset about it. So it's just my version of common courtesy. So nobody called me, pumping me for information. Everything I said had been public knowledge because it had been said on a live stream, and I don't have any of that information. My point in even saying that I had had any conversations with this person behind the scenes was to justify the positive opinion that I did have of that person. And I had said that on live streams. I've said the person was smart, entertaining, um, you know, like I understand why this person says some of the same things, some of the things that they say, even if I don't agree with it, I get it. Oh, and you listen, I did not pay for the ads on these games. I refuse. I'm not going to do it. It's just personal principle. Anyway, so I never said anything negative about that person. And my point for saying that had any conversations, which was a total of about two of them, to be honest with you. It was just funny, goofing off, talking about YouTube, you know, like, well, advice that wasn't asked because I'm just going to give it. If I hear something, I'm just going to throw it out there. You know, um, I thought it was a positive thing. I didn't think that it would actually like cause a rift. And so far from what I'm being told, it didn't, which I'm grateful for. But I do want to say, yes, I did block the person because some of the comments had become triggering. So if you are a person that has said that you can't be around me without trying to sleep with me, and we don't have any conversation about like an actual relationship and taking care of me also during that, um, you know, within normal reason, That to me is an insult. The reason I feel that way is because I've had a lot of times in my life where my life has been turned upside down just because I said no to somebody asking me to engage in that activity with them. I feel like that's a very intimate thing that I'm not willing to do with just anybody. And so now it's gotten to the, like, there have been men, and I hate having to say that. I hate, because I'm not trying to blame all men. I don't think that all men think like this, even though the men at the time were telling me that all men think like this, that they're lying if they say that they can concentrate on anything other than sex. I didn't want to believe that. So I needed to be distant from a comment like that because of the things that those men did in order to get what they wanted. It goes far beyond just peer pressure. There are some men walking around out here amongst you guys that are willing to destroy a woman's life if she says no because it hurts their feelings. They have this belief and they were taught, and I know where it comes from, which is why I'm understanding of it, but I have to get out of the way of that because I feel like if a person tells you that that's their intent, that they know themselves, that they aren't going to be able to think of anything else, that you now have the responsibility to not still stay there and give them the chance. You staying there says that you're cool with it. And so if I'm not cool with it, see, I viewed this person, and I've said this on live streams as well, as like, friend zoned, like a younger brother. Like, I just do that when I'm around black people. That's how I treat them, is I treat them like family members. And, I felt like it was a positive thing. So I had to be away from that. It's nobody's fault. Nobody told me anything. I'm not blaming the individual for their thoughts and being honest, but I have to create distance between me and somebody who's done that with no hard feelings, but I have to because of all of the memories that it brings up for me. I'm not asking for any apologies. I'm not asking for any of that. I'm just explaining because I like to believe that I wouldn't do something that would end up causing a beef. And that was the whole point of me being honest in the first place. That was the whole point of me saying the unsolicited advice. However, I don't believe that I could still, like, participate in certain stuff without it being like I'm cool with people who try to make advances. It's not something that I enjoy. I know the common rhetoric is women like all of that attention. Certain attention I don't like. So the point was that, I didn't hand out any personal information of anybody. Nobody got in my head and changed my opinion of anybody. Nobody called trying to pump me for information. None of that actually happened. I get why it may look that way, but hopefully people can understand that that is not something that I would do or B would even be cool with doing. Another thing that happened here on YouTube that was mildly irritating was so my platform was about mental health, right? But the content was geared towards the nuances of what we as Black people go through in terms of emotional and mental stability and how that affects our behaviors and our morals and our systems and beliefs, right? Certain behaviors, we as a society, including other races, as well as we as a Black culture, have already deemed inappropriate. There are people who were not taught certain things growing up. There's a lot of stuff I had to learn the hard way in my adulthood because I wasn't taught until I figured it out, or either I got advice from somebody who actually did want to teach me how to be a well-rounded adult. I'm not asking anybody to buy into the system or the status quo or for everything to stay the same. What I am saying is that in order to achieve stuff like coexistence, so that we can live on this planet and we can finally not have anxiety as a culture, so that we can finally work and operate from a clear mind, so that we can do things that can better us in society, certain behaviors are just not helpful to that. So a certain individual also decided that they wanted to be on a live stream and threaten to get my license taken. See, I came on this platform because I was hoping that the channel would be a place where Black people can learn and not have to pay a therapist unless you realize through the content that you have some additional deep-seated issues, to know that it's okay to get help from a professional person who studied the patterns and has access to more stuff than you. That's all that means. To let y'all know that it was not taboo. There's a thing called the worried well, meaning you're fine, but there's something you're going through right now that, is kind of getting the best of you and you need a little bit of support that's unbiased. People close to us sometimes have a bias, and that gets in the way of their ability to give us clear-minded instruction, guidance, and advice. That's why my profession exists. But see, my license had been threatened before in real life as well, from a Black person. Both of these people are Black. Now, both times it was frivolous. It was thrown out. The person who did it in real life did report me to the board. It's about what the fries. It was thrown out. Nothing happened. They sided with me. Second, I do have malpractice insurance. Third, I've never diagnosed anybody online. I've not practiced my career online. I've given information, I've educated, but never provided services on this platform. There is nothing that I've done that would get my license taken. That is yet another delusion. And so my point for bringing that up is because a lot of people in the Black community say we hurt the people that try to help us. And that's what I think I was trying to do. Now, whether I was or was not, that's an individual choice. Like, y'all have to decide that for yourselves. Secondly, if I say something you don't like, first of all, let me just let y'all know that it's expected in my field that when you tell somebody something that is so emotionally charged or something that they are going to disagree with or they don't understand, the initial response is usually outrage, anger. They go through all of those stages. And so I expect that. But what I'm saying is that certain behaviors have a label and a title. And that's what I saw. And that's what I called out. And I provided education, guidance to the audience that was listening, that if they meet a person that shows certain characteristics, that they should probably not try to deal with it on their own, because only a trained professional will be able to handle that interaction. I stand by my comment, and I'm not sorry. But what I am going to say is that the way I'm viewing all of this is that it was a lot of stuff that people had pent up. The beefs we're seeing is people who didn't want to go along with something in the first place, but for whatever reason decided to. That's human. It'll all work out. Right now, everybody's a little stir crazy, I guess, and things will get back to normal soon. So, with that being said, I hope I was able to clear up the small little bitty role that I had in this. I'm not, you know, I'm not trying to like add into the problem, but I will admit that I have been thinking about like what is it that could have been avoided? What is it that could help to make all of this dissipate? Just kind of like finished with all of the beefs. Because I think that there is potential for something great here if everybody's able to get this off their chest, and believe it or not, it's necessary. And the reason is because this is how the development of societal rules happens. So it's part of it. This was always going to happen. It was supposed to happen. And now once it's finished and the dust settles, we'll have new rules for interactions. So, in summary, I didn't hand out any personal information to anybody. I wasn't even involved in like the back chat conversations and all of that. I didn't take anybody's advice and block anybody. Not that anybody gave me that advice anyway. I just needed to be separate from that sentence. I needed to be away from that. I wasn't being spiteful or anything like that. I am explaining because I do care about the black community, and I don't want to be part of its destruction. So I would not diagnose anybody online. I don't believe that is something that can or should be done. But certain behaviors fit certain categories for a reason. That had already been decided. So, with that being said, I guess I will see you guys later whenever I get some time to start back uploading all of the content that I have planned. So make sure you tune in, and I'll, give updates on when that's expected to be. I'm thinking after all of this coronavirus business is over with. I might even do one in a little bit, like maybe a week or so. But anyway, any questions, comments,